Hey everybody, we're back. Kind of sorry for being late in your feeds. I think this is the first, lots of firsts this season, Colin, where we are doing things differently. So this is the first time we've ever recorded same day and uploaded late same day. So um, sorry for folks that were spoiled and enjoyed the Demetrius and Colin episode. I think that was one of the best ones we've ever done. But I'm back for right now. Hi.
Right now. Maybe not next week. We should get somebody else on. You know what I was thinking? I had this thought. We can work this out on air. Nobody's listening.
Mm-mm.
Um, what if we try to get Jordan? Talk about the movie premiere.
That'd be awesome. And we got tickets.
Yeah, we got tickets. We'll be there signing autographs. We have a table. But
How annoying would it be if we're those guys with like the like really lame road mics that they grab around and they go, "Hey, thanks for so this is Chris and Colin from
yeah.
Could Be Better. Can you tell us your six favorite things that you saw while filming?" And we can make a
Yeah,
TikTok reel that no one cares about.
bring your podcast. We'll sign them.
uh,
Oh, that
yeah,
got that got Chris. That
that
got
would be. I think that'd be fun though. Maybe Jordan would do it. I think he still likes us. Still
should
likes
we
you.
I don't know. I haven't talked to him since the third double motorcycle. Well, that's not true. Didn't Next week is Thanksgiving. Do we want to put out an episode on Wednesday instead of Thursday?
I mean, sure,
All right, that's decided. We could text Jordan. I could text Jordan right now. You want me to do that on air?
sure. Yeah, that'd be great. I'll stall.
Okay, yeah. Tell the people about the movie or some. Tell the people you were not here. Did you miss being here?
Oh, I missed you. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, there's just like I I don't really want this to be like the Chris Perry diary session stuff, but yeah, there's just like a lot of big things going on in my life and um they all kind of hit starting like in August. And so it's been kind of a train wreck since then. And so for like people that know me and my family, it's like um I have like some of like the greatest in-laws ever. And uh Laura's mom has stage 4 brain cancer and has been on chemo for a long time and has not been doing well recently. And we got news last week that the scan came back, and rather than chemo being effective and doing what it should have done, cancer has spread in her brain, and we're on a pretty condensed timeline. So there's been a lot of things I've had to stop and drop. So big thanks to you and Demetrius for just doing a great episode, giving me a break, and it being a great episode. But then also Spencer, because he did sound for me on Saturday. So I was supposed to do the Humble Eye Jack Funk show at Olde Mother. Killer turnout, great show, killer sessions, lots of improv.
Killer sessions.
It was sick. But anyway, that Spencer covered for me as well because we made a quick out of town trip. So we're back home for now. We're not really sure what these next stretch looks like, but yeah, a lot of people in her family die in February, and it's just kind of like what happens. And so we're kind of like cautiously optimistic we'll get through the holiday season, but then it'll be pretty shitty going from there. So we're just, I don't know, it just kind of sucks. So for those that pray, appreciate it. For those that send thoughts and good energy, I will take it. We're just kind of desperate for something positive at this point, and it kind of makes you sick to hope, and then it kind of makes you sick if you don't. So it's just kind of in a weird spot. So that's where I was last week. And yeah, it's different, I guess, if you don't care about your in-laws or people that are in transition out of here. But when you love them deeply and they've just been really good friends to you and have just, raised an incredible woman that you get to, or incredible person you get to like spend your life with, it's kind of really unfortunate. So, anyway, that all being said, this episode is brought to you in part by our friends at Old Mother Brewing Company, where you can get a beer and talk about things, and it's not weird, versus you probably shaving or brushing your teeth, or getting ready for bed or doing something, and you're hearing me talk about uh, my own circle of the world being dark right now. But no, I mean, I love Jordan, and I hope he comes on. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think the um, movie's going to be really good. I'm excited. It's the only ones, and we're going to the local premiere. And I forgot to tell you about this con. There's a second showing because the first one sold out. So we're
Oh,
going to a sold out 8 p.m. showing. But so if you're there, um, there's drinks you can buy us. I mean, it's pretty cool. So we're excited. It's gonna be at Warehouse. It's cool. Colin's gonna make a trip down. We're gonna hang. It should be fun. So
if
I'm
there's
excited to
one,
see it.
that's if there's one thing that I hate more than everything, it's being in an actual sold out movie where you don't get the buffer seat. Everybody, you're sitting next to a stranger one way or another.
Oh no 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 no. So okay, hold up a second. So we got special tickets. So we'll be in a good section.
Do we have a box, a special luxury box?
1,000%. The seats are heated.
Did-
But for real, have you been to Warehouse Cinemas before?
I have not, no.
They are. It is the best movie theater in Maryland. Alamo Draft House. Sorry for your sponsorship money. You can keep
Oh
it.
boy, wow.
It's great, man. The seats are super comfy, and even if you're sitting next to somebody, their seats are so luxurious, and you are so comfortable. It doesn't matter if you're sitting next to somebody. Like honestly, I am that guy. I'll go to a movie, I'll sit in my seat, even though there's a seat that like I see there's a space. I'll sit right next to him because you don't feel like. Listen, at Warehouse Cinemas, you're just not friends. You're family.
Oh, wow. So they're sponsoring season seven?
Well, it depends on if they're going to give us the unlimited breadsticks or not. But it's a horror movie. It's a horror thriller. Let me just read the very very slick, quick intro. It's a horror thriller. The runtime is 1 hour and 17 minutes. Six friends set out to a secluded house for a relaxed weekend away when they unwittingly start a snowballing effect of chaos, death, and paranoia. When you have friends, who needs enemies? It's a future Fantascope presentation of The Only Ones, and we're very excited about it. And let's just tell the fans next week. We'll have Jordan on. It'll be great.
Sure, yeah. I'm sure he has nothing going on Thanksgiving week that he could just pop on
Oh,
and
I mean, we could pre-tape. I mean, that's something we used to do. Remember? We
that's
used to do.
true.
Remember? We used to do
Yeah.
multiple episodes in your apartment.
Wait, what do you mean my apartment?
Sorry, the studio that we had to sell, which is why we're able to be affording this luxury of going remote now.
That's, and we could afford those movie premiere tickets. Is there going to be a red carpet?
100%. I'm sure.
That would be a lot of fun.
Can we dress like? Can we dress up? Like, can you like do like not Frederick playlist dress up? Like, don't just put on a blazer and like jeans and things. Like, do you have nice clothes?
I doubt it, but
Okay.
I
Can we
can.
do Adam Sandler casual?
That's fine. See, so I think I just realized this today. This caps off this little thing caps off my 1 week I have to spend in DC for work. So I will not be home Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday I will leave DC,
And
stop in
come to the
Frederick,
movie.
and then go home.
Whoa.
Yeah. So at that point, I'm going to be wearing, 6-day-old shirts, no underwear. Well, no pants probably.
Most definitely.
And I will be smelling like I haven't taken a shower in 8 days because I haven't taken a shower in 10. That's
Well,
how
it's
that's
cool
going to
though
be.
because you'll be in a hotel, so it'll be probably nice and swanky. So
I don't
hotel
trust
showers are
being
great.
naked in a hotel. I just don't trust it.
You've seen Hostel too many times.
There are cameras everywhere.
Mm.
But
Well, so yeah, I mean that'll be fun, and I'm excited for it. And it's on a Thursday, so maybe we'll have an episode, maybe not. We'll see. Um, you know,
maybe that would be the best week to have him on.
I mean, Colin, we just promised the fans that he was going to be on next week.
He also has not responded to my text message, and it's been 8 minutes.
Um, yeah. So, okay, here's my new thought, and maybe you'll appreciate this, and maybe people won't care. So, I have a fear, and I'm a little not excited to share it. So my fear is that so with us taking a break from and stopping really from booking shows at Old Mother, I am afraid I may become less nice. And now for folks that are listening, there's a chance that you're like, yeah, okay, Chris, you're not nice anyway, so what's the big deal here? But I feel like I'm gonna go full curmudgeon, and I have a hard time reasoning with that.
I think that's where the podcast could get interesting.
Yeah, but I have a self-regulating issue though, where it's like if I'm yelling from the sidelines, but I'm not, I'm never gonna go in the game. I'll be like, what are we doing?
But would you just yell from the sidelines? I think we've talked
No,
about this before. You're gonna
yeah,
have there's gonna be some type of relationship you have.
yeah, and like whatever that is, like who knows if I don't know.
I don't know what you would say. See, here's the thing, because we have had a handful of episodes over the years where it's kind of accidentally devoted to being critical of the music scene
Sure,
and people within it and whatever. We've kind of vaguely done that. It's developed in a natural way when it happens. But even when we do that, we are very aware and very conscious of we don't name names. Sometimes we name some names, but we
sure.
don't ever specifically call people out or venues out or anything. Is
Tune
that
into
what you,
2 weeks ago when I yelled at the Eagles Club for being a total
wow.
dumpster. So, I
It's
mean, come on.
but it's like if you want to have a scorched earth episode, we could. I don't think you want to do that. And as long as we don't do that, then you should be fine. You could be a curmudgeon and still be vague.
Oh, sure, sure. And I mean, I think part of it is Frederick's small enough where if you if you are invested enough, you know exactly who we're talking about. I don't think it's very hard to figure out who it is. But I think for people that are like, again, maybe they are on the sidelines and this is their inner circle, this is their, you know, inside scoop to the inside circle of the Frederick elite, then you're listening to the wrong podcast. But if that's what you think it is too, though, I think it's very clear who things are. I don't know. Maybe not. But I don't know, man. It's just weird because it's like, now I think there's perspective of now like I don't have anything to offer to people. And so I'm also now wondering too if like it becomes the now I get to tell this guy what I really think. So that'll be kind of interesting.
What do you mean? Why would you having nothing to offer lead to you telling somebody what you actually think?
The other way around. Someone telling me exactly what they think because now there's
Oh,
there's like oh, we're not booking the coolest venue in town now.
we could do that. We could have a roast of Chris Perry. That could be an
Oh God.
episode.
Right in, folks. We go to our website and say, here's something to roast Chris Perry on, and we'll save it for a time when I'm feeling really sad and I can read them.
If you think though that like you've had these friendships and relationships that have been based on your ability to help people and only that, I don't know. I mean, you're a pretty direct person, and it's not like everything is great with everybody you know anyway.
Right.
So
But
I
tell me what you feel it was in your perspective when you stepped away from, or when Frederick Playlist kind of collapsed. What was your perspective of? I mean, you were still writing for the paper, but did that change for you?
um I don't think it changed in any way that I thought it would change. Like whatever came my way, I knew was going to come my way. Whatever happened, I knew was going to happen. Like those types of things. There were certain people who I knew would think certain things. There were certain people who I knew would be friends. There were certain like all of those types of things. And even after it all kind of, I mean, I still even to this day, I get an occasional email from somebody in Frederick still thinking that I can help out, like get an album reviewed or because that was another thing too, and that's not something we've ever offered, but like that writing component. And it turns out there are a lot of people who want their albums reviewed locally, even if they know that I'm not going to be that nice, which I usually wasn't that nice. So, I mean, there were people that are still in my life that I still text with on a regular basis, even if the regular basis is only a month or every couple months or whatever. There were people who just completely fell out of my life altogether. There were people who didn't really know about it, didn't really care. It's 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 one of those things. It's simultaneously you feel I don't know how to say this without sounding obnoxious. I know that I'm going to sound obnoxious, but I guess I'll try to frame it like this. I'll ask you, Chris. You doing these shows and being as involved as you are, you don't you feel like you have a sense of community around you?
Yeah.
Like even if you don't like some people or some things are frustrating or whatever it is, like you feel like this could be better thing has infinitely expanded your sort of circles, your friend circles, your social circles, like all of that stuff. You can go to Old Mother and see a million people you know, and that's just how it goes, right?
Yeah, and like I think there's two parts to this. Like one is that like, we offer a service by doing shows and things like that. So it's like, hey, now that that service isn't there, it's like, okay, if I cannot offer you something, like there's that little bit of maybe insecurity of that of like, oh, hey, now that I don't have anything to offer, like, are we friends? Is there a relationship? But then it's just the nature of being in the music, quote unquote, biz, right?
You,
Like there's
you're
just, yeah.
yeah, you're gonna have. I mean, the idea that you can't offer people things so they aren't going to be your friend is hollow in and of itself because that means the friendship was never really there anyway.
Right.
So that's all. But I don't think, I think what you're talking about is something a little bit deeper where it's just like navigating that. It's trying to figure out how to feel about that. Even if you know it's coming, it's getting kicked in the nuts hurts either way.
Yeah, yeah. And for me on this too, it's like it feels like we did a little bit of the Seinfeld thing, right? Like, hey, it felt like things were going out on top. We've had some of the best shows ever this year. And um, we get offers from bands on tour coming through a lot. And now we are saying, hey, we're not able to help, but go check out Cafe Nola, Aaron and Butthead are the best, right? So it's like, but yeah, I think maybe the um maybe part of the fear for me is the potential blame that we us will
We know.
receive for not doing this anymore, right? Like, oh, like because I remember being that guy too. It's like, oh, the mud puddle. It was always so cool for shows, but man, the family went on this TV show and they rather than taking the money that they made from that show and putting it into the building, they did things that they thought were best for their family. Ah, that's so upsetting. And now the mud puddle's not there anymore. It's like, okay. And then 200 East was so cool. Like I, wish that was still in existence, but instead now, we got this hotel. And now it's like, okay, the Eagles was so cool, and then they had to screw that up on East Street, and then it's like not East Street, Patrick Street, and then it's like Old
See,
Mother.
the
I
thing
don't know.
about this though, the other end of this, and I think I've said this to you before, I don't remember if it's been on air or off air, but the other end of exactly everything you're saying is you also realize how irrelevant you were too.
Yeah,
There's a really good chance Old Mother goes on and has intermittent shows here and there. It's not at the clip and not with the same types of bands, but they still have music and life goes on. And you just kind of look at it and you say, well, maybe this wasn't as important as I thought
yeah,
it was, and that's a kick in the
yeah.
balls too.
And I kind of hope that is what it is. Like I think like so we talk a lot about other venues and stuff that are doing, sorry, quote unquote, restaurants and clubs doing other things and stuff, but um at the end of the day too, it's like Brain Dead Live and Brain Dead Design, like they're doing stuff, and so it's like, hey, they're booking shows at Sketchy Shed and doing things at least try to do something at the Baker Park band shell, and just doing other things. It's like, hey, like I know we've had dreams to do other things, and it's just it's cool to see someplace somebody and a group of other people trying to do something different. And so it's like I think the other part of the lie I tell myself is like, hey, maybe we're just giving space for something new to grow, you know? So,
And the other thing about this too, however briefly, because this has been one big whole bloviating episode. Now we're just talking about ourselves. It's got to be great. Um, I you are far better at the social thing than I ever was, and I think that's something I can't speak to. I think you enjoy the social aspect of it to a certain degree. You like going to the shows, you like running sound, you like having people that you know and familiar faces. You've done a great job being the sort of person, just being that person doing those things. I was never ever comfortable in that, and I never liked
mm,
it, and I was never ever good at it, and I don't miss that part at all. And I have a feeling like you will. I think that'll be something you miss.
yeah, I mean, like even when we went trick or treating downtown, it's like we're walking around. It's like, and I'm seeing all these people I know, and then it's like I see Keith out with his family, and then I see Kenny husband out with his family, and they're doing stuff, and it's just the best. And so it's like, hey, like I have all these connections and relationships with all these people that I care and love for deeply, and so it's like part of the um, it is work. And so when you have a job and you work with a bunch of people that you really like, and then now you switch jobs for a reason, or you get let go for a reason, and you quit for a reason, um, you lose that familiar relationship where it's like your friendships with those people in your place of work are not artificial, but they are manufactured. And so it's like part of that is like, oh, I still, if I were to text an old coworker, they still text me back, but it's just not, hey, I'm not seeing them day to day like I was before. And so, I'm not moving from Frederick as far as I know. So, I plan to be here. Um, but yeah, I think if we could afford for us to not be able to go to all the shows, I don't think I would miss it. But because we've had to do it, and it's always been even from Patrick Street, right, East Patrick for the Eagles, it was like we were always there running stuff, and so we just never grew to a spot, and places, and not just Old Mother, but just places in general, don't pay you enough to be able to have like a sound crew or a sound person that's like you can have Showtime do all like the cool stuff at the creek that you would do with the News Post, where it's like, hey, we have this money to do a thing, and so they're going to come in and do a great job. And for us, it's like, hey guys, sorry, we're not going to mic anything. It's going to sound like a big practice space, and you're going to have a great time, but you may not be able to hear everything that you want to. And um, part of that's the thrill and the charm, and then some of it's also the frustrating parts and the this could be better type thing.
I think, I mean, the old mother, the way the old mother thing has been set up, and the sort of the structure of it, the assembly line ness of it, that might be coming to an end. But I mean, you're still going to have your hands in setting up shows. Now that we figured out how to do this thing like this, this could go on forever if you wanted to do this podcast
Yeah.
stuff. So I mean, you're going to still be connected, and like you said, you're not moving away. So it's just one of those things where it's kind of a time to step aside. Who knows? I mean, there could be something that pops open in 6 months or a year where it's like, hey, they want to start having music out of nowhere, and maybe we can lend a helping hand. Because I think that was always the goal from the beginning with all of this,
hmm
was just to help people, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you can look at our pay stubs that we get from places. It's like we are not taking any money or any sort of significant money in for doing the stuff that we do. So, if you're listening and looking for, oh, hey man, that could be better. F bags are out of the way. Now it's time for us to reap in the cash. It's like, listen, man, if you want to see our books, no. But if you really want to, we'll tell you that there's not a lot of money in it. So, um, we got a couple minutes left. I have a couple questions for you. One, um, are you surprised with Matt Gates dropping out today?
I'm not, but let me rephrase. I guess I am. I guess the short answer is yes, because I don't understand. What I read briefly was that the Republicans thought he was too black male blackmailable. He could have been blackmailed a bunch. I don't know a person alive that's more blackmailable than the president, the incoming president of the United
Yeah.
States, Donald Trump. So I don't know what that's about. Like all of a sudden we have a moral compass. I didn't know that that existed anymore, but I guess it does. So
Yeah.
that in that way, it surprised me.
Yeah. Um, Second question, least favorite smell?
Probably the diaper pail right
Nice.
now. They
Once
have
it's
been,
full,
oh man, it's sometimes it gets to the point where it's overflowing. And these days, he it doesn't smell great because he's starting. He's starting. Like we're just throwing things against the wall. I cook an egg and like kind of all that stuff, and
hmm
um, like the sweet potato puree and those
Yeah.
types of things. Trying to get him on that, and every time I've learned when I go out and buy that and give it to him, he throws it up. And he throws it up in such a way that it looks like he's thrown up like a gallon of blood because it had like the color of it. And it's so scary. But these are just, what's your least favorite smell? Probably my house, right? Even,
Subway.
oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, Subway or weed. I'm not a big
Ah,
fan of the smell.
okay.
Yeah. And then my final question is, where are you finding hope these days, Colin? Because I could use a new place to look.
Oh, jeez. Jesus goodness. I will give you sort of a stock answer, but one that I think might be of some use in some way if you choose for it to be. Lorenzo. If you ever find yourself in a situation where even just text with him, if you text with him or call him, anything, stitch early. I used to say this all the time. When I was living with Joe, I would say this all the time because I was really in the dumps for a lot of that. And I would say I got to go get my soul filled, which I've said on this podcast a lot
Mm-hmm.
when he's been on. And that's just a guy that'll make you feel good. So that's somebody you might want to text. The other thing, of course, is gambling. If you want to gamble your entire your
That's sick.
entire life savings away. And
Yeah.
also too, this was one I don't know if you do this anymore, but when we first started too, you were into NBA 2K. That was a source of happiness, wasn't it?
It's a source of distraction, sure. Yeah.
Not hope, not happiness.
I don't think so. I did see that the Saquon Barkley hurdle though is now in Madden, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but they can't figure out how to make a good game. That's the problem.
Yeah,
And
the store. The,
what about Sam Powell? What about those? I mean, you guys have a lot of stuff going on that you have not talked about on this podcast. Projects. Those things don't give you hope.
I mean, it's hope, but it's just different. Different. It's the things to look forward to, and it's like I like doing stuff with my friends and stuff. But my question for you, Colin, was not, "Hey, Chris, how can you tell me, Colin, of where I can look for hope?" I'm asking for how does Colin McGuire look for hope? But you're a master of the. Let me flip this and ask you a question, so I don't have to talk about stuff, guy. So
That's fair. Oh, well, we've got I've made a spice rub
see.
for chicken wings. That's amazing. That gives me a lot of hope.
I'm in for that. I'm in for that. Folks, if you're listening and you would like to tell us how you found hope, how you are finding hope, where you see hope, um, where I found hope this week was when I was getting Laura's oil change this week. I walked down to go to the common market where I got a coffee and a huevos rancheros wrap. And when I was ordering, they had a call for a sourdough turkey avocado sandwich for Ryan. And all of a sudden, I look behind me and it's the great Ryan Nicholson. And he and I got to have breakfast together by accident. And it
Look at
was,
that.
it, it
Wow.
was very meaningful. And he's one of the longest friends that I've had and I've known and respected and have just kind of grown up around. And it was really cool to be able to have that. So, um, anyway, for folks that need something, your community is here. It's weird. It's different. It's always changing. And some people have skills to reach out proactively and help, and some people just know when you call on them that they'll answer. So if you have any calls you got to make this week, do it. Let's be good at being grateful for things because they're not always here. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with Jordan, where we talk about his movie. It's gonna be awesome. Colin, I love you, buddy. Talk to you later.
Love you too. The Could Be Better podcast is recorded somewhere with suspect Wi-Fi in the United States of America.
We've been without a studio for several decades, but have finally moved to the real estate where the talks tick and the West's yay.
What?
Actually, we're live now, but you're listening later. So please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and Blue Sky. And don't forget to check out our website for literally everything else at www.couldbebettermeh.com.
Also, pretty please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Or don't, and then let us continue believing what we're doing has purpose and meaning, and you like us. And
plus, don't forget to check out all of our other podcasts exclusively within the Could Be Better Podcast Network, which includes just us for right now, as the other pods be sleeping.
Hey, shout to Kiki, shout to Stitch, shout to my magnum opus-ish. And hell, if all else fails, check out Smartless, because we were friends with Jason, Will, and Sean.
Wait, we know those guys?
Of course. Welcome to Arrested Development. I'm Colin McGuire.
And I'm Chris Perry. Thanks for listening, and don't forget, this always could be better.